All right, today we're going to pull back the curtain on a tiny detail that makes a huge difference in woodworking. This is the secret to giving any piece of furniture that really polished, truly professional look. You know that feeling when you look at a piece of furniture and you just know it's high quality, but you can't quite put your finger on why? What's that secret ingredient that takes a project from looking homemade to looking like something you'd buy in a high-end store? Well, a lot of the time, that secret ingredient is all about solving one very, very common issue, what we like to call the unfinished edge problem. And this picture shows it perfectly. When you're working with boards like plywood or particle board, you always get left with these raw, kind of rough, layered edges. And they don't just look unfinished, they're also the weakest part of the board, super vulnerable to chipping or water damage. So how do the pros solve this? Well, they use this elegant and honestly time-tested technique called board lipping. To put it simply, lipping is just a thin strip of material that gets applied directly to that rough edge. It's brilliant, really, because it does two critical things at the exact same time. It protects that vulnerable edge, and it completely transforms how the whole piece looks. And I promise you, once you know what to look for, you are going to see this everywhere. It's on the clean edges of your bookshelves, the smooth finish of your kitchen cabinets, and the durable border of most tabletops. It's really the unsung hero of finished furniture. So now that we know what lipping is, let's get into how it's done. There are a few different types of materials you can use, and each one has its own little advantages. First up, we've got what is probably the most convenient choice for a whole lot of projects: pre-glued lipping. The beauty of this option is just how simple it is. I mean, the name says it all. The adhesive is already right there on the back of the lipping strip. It's basically ready to go right out of the package. And why does that matter? Well, it's all about efficiency. Having that glue pre-applied saves a ton of time and, let's be honest, it avoids the whole messy process of doing it yourself. The whole thing is just faster and a lot cleaner. All right, our second option is another one that's extremely popular, especially in the DIY world. Let's talk about iron-on tape. The way this stuff works is actually pretty clever. It's a thin strip, often made of real wood veneer or maybe melamine, and it has a heat-activated adhesive on the back. You just place it on the edge and use a regular household iron to create a strong, permanent bond. It's that easy. And the payoff for that simple process is huge. Iron-on tape is fantastic for creating a perfectly smooth and neat finish that just seamlessly covers that raw edge. It can even make it look like a solid piece of wood. Okay, let's move on to our final type. This one's a bit more specialized, but it is incredibly useful. This is corner edging. So while our other options were for the flat edges, this one is all about, you guessed it, the corners. Think about the corners of a desk, a cabinet, or a countertop. You know, the areas that take the most abuse. This edging is made specifically to cover and protect them. The main benefit here is just pure durability. Corners get bumped, they get chipped, they get worn down all the time. This edging basically acts like a shield, absorbing all those impacts and dramatically increasing the lifespan of the furniture. Okay, so we've looked at the what and the how, but let's just zoom out for a second and put it all together. Why does this small detail of lipping truly matter? You know, it really just comes down to these three big benefits. First, the aesthetics. It just makes furniture look clean, finished, and professional. Second, protection. It seals and guards the most vulnerable part of the board from damage. And third, longevity. Because it looks better and it's better protected, your furniture simply lasts longer. So we'll leave you with a final thought here. Now that you know the secret of the finished edge, will you ever look at a tabletop or even a simple bookshelf the same way again? Go take a look around. I think you might be surprised by what you find. Thanks for joining us.